the chat area as you have questions. I'm happy to address them. But we'll get started so that we have enough time. Our first presenter today is Sarah Blomstrom. She's known as at Texas Title Girl, and she does coaching and training for title insurance sales. She's based out here in Texas, and I'll let her get going. She's going to talk for about 25 minutes, and then we'll leave a couple minutes for Q&A. So we'll get going with her. Sarah, take it on.
Susan, thank you. I'm excited to be here, and I will keep an eye on the time. I have a clock right here in front of me, but Susan, if for some reason I get long-winded, please don't hesitate to unmute yourself and say, hey, wrap it up.
Gotcha.
There's no problem with that. So like Susan said, my name is Sarah. I am a title rep down here in Southern Texas in San Antonio. And I have been in the business for about 7 years. So I would still say I'm new enough to, not quite say I'm a veteran, but I've been around long enough to know a couple of things and to learn a few things. And so Susan, when she asked me to come on today, said, I think maybe if you could talk a little bit about your brand and how you built your brand, that might encourage some of the other women on the call. And if I understand sort of the purpose of this group, that would be one of the things that you want to do, Susan, is to encourage each other, support one another. And so today I'm just going to talk a little bit about how I built my brand using digital media and social media.
Make sure my mic.
I think somebody's unmuted. Are you able
Please
to
mute if you can, everyone. Thank you.
And then Susan, am I able to share my screen? Can you give me like permission as a host? I have the ability to share, but I don't know if I'm going to get blocked here. I'm going to try and see what happens.
Okay.
Okay. So, can you just let me know if you can see my screen?
We can see, yes.
Yep. Okay. So this is going to be a little bit small because I'm sharing a Canva slide, but I want to quickly talk about a few things when it comes to branding. So when I got into this business, I want to be very clear. I was a public school teacher for 17 years. I did not really know what a title company was. I had closed on my own personal home in 2010 as a very young school teacher, but I really didn't know what a title company was. So when I got into this business, because I could not teach anymore, my soul had left my body. I was just exhausted and overwhelmed. I also quickly, as a background, I wanted to foster and adopt. And I have since then adopted 2 children who are now 8 and 4 years old. They're full siblings. I fostered them for 2 years and they've been adopted for 2 years. And I am doing it on my own. And so I knew I needed a different career that would allow me a little more flexibility and a higher income earning opportunity. And so I had a friend who's now a colleague say, well, would you be interested in doing what I'm doing, which is what we're all here doing today, which is title insurance sales. I didn't really know what that was, but I knew there was an opportunity for me. And so I put my head down and I went full throttle. And I quickly realized as soon as I got in the business that there was a title company on every street corner and all of them had 5 to 10 reps, right? Especially in my market. It may not be that way in your market, but it was very crowded. And I thought, I've got to stand out. I had a brokerage tell me when I first walked in and said, well, how can I help? How can I add value? They said, well, you can bring tacos and donuts. And so a couple of years ago, I had t-shirts made on Canva that said Donut Girl because I decided to embrace it a little bit and say, if that's what you think we do, then that's what I'll do. But I think I can do a lot more than bring donuts. And so now people know me as Texas Title Girl online, which is how you can find me today on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. But I also sometimes lovingly go by the Donut Girl in my own local market. And I realized that I needed to not only capture the attention of real estate agents who were being called on every day by title reps, but I also needed to earn and keep their attention. So the slide you see in front of you, you guys can read. I won't read it line by line, but basically you can buy attention, beg for attention, bug people for attention. And I do joke that that is what I do when I cold call and say, hey, come meet with me. But you can also earn attention by creating something interesting and valuable. And the great thing is you can publish it now online for free. So that's what I started doing. I wanted to build a brand or a product, which would be Texas Title Girl, that when people saw it in my local market, they went, oh, I know who she is. She's that title rep who does X. And by X, I mean the title rep who can help me as a realtor solve particular pain points. And because I got into the business August of 2019, COVID was about 6 months away. I really didn't have a book of business. I did not at all. And I did not have a brand. I did not have a presence. And I will say that COVID helped expedite that. I had no choice but to get on video, and I was unapologetic and shameless about it. And that's really what helped build my brand. So I'm not here to tell you today that you do have to get on video. It will help you exponentially. It changed the way that I do business, and it moved me to the front of the line when it came to prospecting. I want to say that again. It moved me to the front of the line when it came to prospecting, because at the time, nobody in my particular role was on video. And I was also sending direct video messages to my prospects and people that I wanted to meet with, meaning I picked up my phone, I hit record, and I would say, "Hey, Susan, this is Sarah with Chicago Title. I'd love the opportunity to meet with you." I'd make it very personalized. I'd make it under 30 seconds, usually around 20 seconds, and I would hit send. It would go directly to their text message inbox, and they couldn't help but watch it. I still do that today. I get good responses with it, but it created a memorable brand that, as the slide said, would evoke a feeling or emotion. So a brand needs to solve a problem. And I thought, well, what can I do that will help agents? And as I talked to agents in my area, one of the biggest things that they talked about at the time was digital marketing and marketing in general. How do I stay in front of my sphere? Well, I knew as a teacher that I could go out and learn things and maybe help produce and turn around and create some of that content for my agents. And so that's what I started to do. I started to put my own findings on social media, but even more importantly, I started to develop classes and even things that I could do one-on-one or with small groups to help my agents. And at the time, that big pain point was video. Again, this was 5 years ago. And most of us on this call today would say we did not grow up with a cell phone in our hand, let alone a cell phone that had a camera. And we certainly didn't publish things. I mean, my mom is of the age where if I walk out of the house without lipstick on, she'll say, "Oh my goodness, are you going to put on lipstick?" Right? So a lot of us would never think about getting on camera, but I did. And I found that there were a lot of people who wanted to, but felt hesitant to. So I started helping them with that. And what did that do? That created a memorable feeling or emotion. It created this brand where it was like, "Hey, Sarah's the one you call when you need help with." And then you could list these things off. And it really helped me, because what could I do with that? My brand became my open house, if you will. So when agents, I taught a class last week for agents, when they come into my class, I will usually say somewhere in the class, "Hey, what's the purpose of hosting an open house?" And one will usually say, "Well, to get leads," right? And so then I turn around and say, "Well, welcome to my open house. I am here teaching this class because I want to be able to connect with you all, and in turn follow up with you and say, let's work together." I am not an escrow officer. I don't close deals. I don't fund deals. I'm not in the file. My only job is to bring in business. And so I need to be unique, creative, and relentless in my pursuit of how do I do that? And how do I stand out from my competition? And so I am not apologetic about having these classes and then saying, "You will hear from me." And guess what? When they hear from me, it's so easy, because I'll say, "Hey, Susan, thanks so much for coming to my class today. What did you think about it?" I usually have a very pointed 1, 2, or 3 questions that I ask for feedback purposes. And then I quickly move into, "Listen, it was great to meet you in class today. I would love the opportunity to work with you." And then I run some scripting around that. And I don't even have to take them out for coffee. True story, happened last week. A big agent came to one of my classes. And when I picked up the phone and called her afterwards, it was so easy. I still had to ask. It wasn't like she left the class going, "Sarah, I would love to change my title company and send you all my business." That didn't even occur to her. She just thought, "Oh, I'll come to this class and get some information." I still had to be the one with an action plan to follow up with her and say, "Hey, glad you came to my class. What does it look like to work together?" And I still had to have a targeted script and a way of transitioning that conversation into business. But it was a no brainer, because she'd sat through my class and she had experienced my brand, if you will, and said, "I would love the opportunity to send you my next deal." Is she going to move her whole book of business over to me tomorrow? Probably not. And I'm not asking her to do that. She has relationships. Any agent worth their salt is going to have relationships in place. But I'm looking for the opportunity to earn one at a time while I'm also still delivering value. When we talk about content marketing, I want to make sure, because I don't know my audience very well this morning, we might have people on this call who say, yep, I've been doing all this for years. It's great. I could probably teach the class right alongside Sarah. But I might also have some people on the call this morning that say, I really don't even know the difference between branding and marketing, and I don't really know what content marketing is. But you do, if I clarify some things for you. So content marketing is the ability for you to create content and attract a clearly defined audience. Mike is going to talk to you in a minute about Agent Brief. Agent Brief is for a specific audience. He knows who he's talking to, and he knows who he's looking for in the marketplace because he knows his product and he knows the problems that his product solves. So when you go into the marketplace, when you put yourself on video, when you get on YouTube to create content, you have to say, well, who am I talking to? And what do I want to tell them about? And usually we're going to hit record, or we're going to write a blog post, and we're going to write something that we think is exciting or interesting. But it doesn't mean that's what they're looking for. So we have to begin to understand SEO, which is search engine optimization. And we also have to learn and understand something called AEO, which is answer engine optimization. And that has to do with AI. And I have really spent the last 6 to 8 months trying to understand AI to the best of my ability. One, because I am a mother of young children. It is the future, and I want to make sure I can understand, guide them, support them, and even protect them from some of the things that AI is coming out with. But I also want to be able to leverage it to help my agents with marketing. And there is so much more to AI than just putting in a prompt for ChatGPT on your, writing a listing presentation or a listing description. So I really want to be able to help my agents with that. And when I put out content about that, it allows agents to go, oh, hey, I think I need to reach out to Sarah because of the content she's putting out. It's the same thing when I make YouTube videos for other title reps. My YouTube channel, which is also Texas Title Girl, makes content for title reps who are looking to grow and scale their business. So if you're a title rep and you get on YouTube and you type in title sales coaching, you might find me in one of those videos. You go and watch my video and then you say, I might want to reach out to her because she sounds like she might know what she's talking about and maybe she can help me. Content marketing positions you as the authority, and that's what you want. You want to become an authoritative speaker in your market as a title rep, not just the donut girl. I'll bring donuts all day long. Don't get me wrong. And I'll smile. If that's what's going to add value to a brokerage, I'm all for it. But I'm also going to let them know, hey, if any of you want anything more than donuts, I'm happy to help. The other thing that I want to do is point you to, and I might have to go to a different slide here in order to do it. I want to point out the difference between content marketing and traditional marketing. And I apologize if the slides are a little bit small. Um, Content marketing is the idea of getting people to come to you. How many of you on this call would love to have your business in a place where you don't have to prospect? You don't have to cold call. You don't even have to ask for business. It's people coming to you. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Even if it wasn't 100% of the time, if it was 50% of the time, that would change the trajectory of your business. And that's what content marketing does. So with AI, you might be sitting here saying, I feel like she's telling me I have to get on video and I have to become this social media coach for my agents. I'm not telling you that necessarily, but what I am telling you is you need to find something that you can be really good at and hone in on that and make sure everybody else knows that you're really good at it. And how are they going to know you're good at it unless you tell them? So that's where you would make content about what you're really good at, your expertise or your areas of expertise, so that you can get them to come to you. Versus traditional marketing, which is where you and I in the past have had to go in and knock on doors and make phone calls and follow up, follow up, follow up, even go to events like the one I'm about to go to. I unfortunately have to hop off here after I'm done because I have an event where there's, 75 agents and I have to go walk around and mingle and all the things. That's traditional marketing where you go into the marketplace and you kind of interrupt what they're doing and hope that they'll stick around long enough to pay attention to you. And then research shows that when that happens, you still have to follow up 10 to 12 or even more times before you can actually get them to even convert. Content marketing, you guys, when they come to you, they're all but converted because they have found you, they know what they're looking for, and you've provided them with the answers to their questions. It's the same thing with AI. I don't know if any of you are going to AI now to search for answers instead of Google. I am. Almost exclusively go to AI because I can get really niche and targeted and granular on what I'm looking for. And guess what? Sellers and buyers are doing the same thing. And so if you could teach your agents how to get found on AI, can you imagine how valuable that might be for them? They're not going to like the answer. I'm going to tell you that right now because it in the beginning is a lot of work. You have to set up a lot of systems and get really good at your focus. But can you imagine if you were the one to be able to tell them how to do that? They would find that so valuable. And that is how you start to create your brand, by being able to give value to people and show them what you're capable of doing. So the other thing I want to show you before we wrap up here, or before I wrap up my time, is my business card. I created this using my iPhone. Susan, am I still sharing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you're
So
there.
this is my business card. I created it on Canva, and I took this standing in front of a wall at my house. And sometimes people laugh because they're like, is that still you? Because my hair is dark and it's shorter now. And I'm like, yes, it's still me. But that's still a conversation piece. And then on the back, I put a QR code. So I put my contact information, my handle, Texas Title Girl, an accolade that I won at one point that in the local marketplace everybody knows about. And then, of course, the company I work for. But on the front, I took up all the real estate, if you will, on this business card. I wanted my face to be front and center because I wanted it to be memorable. I am not saying that you need to make a card like this, but what I am saying is that if you can make a card that is memorable, people will hold on to it longer. I can't tell you how many people still have this card hanging on their wall or sitting on their desk. That has extended the shelf life exponentially of this business card rather than going straight into the trash. People will say, oh, you're the one with that business card. Now, do I care if people love it or hate it? No, because some people would say, exposure and attention is attention, whether it's negative or positive. I get mostly positive feedback on this. So I'm not going to worry about the naysayers who say, well, that's silly and I would never do that. Okay, no problem. But what I do want you to understand is that when you can put out also print media or different types or modes of media that are sticky, and by sticky, I mean it is memorable and it takes up real estate in somebody's brain and lives rent free, you're already ahead of your competitors. And on top of that, when you give them a QR code like the one I have here, and if any of you are joining from a computer, pick up your phone right now and scan that. It's going to take you to a site called Flowcode. And what Flowcode does is it allows you to create a landing page. Again, this would be a class that you could teach your agents. Hey, here's how you use Flowcode, and here's 10 different ways you could use this QR code and integrate it into your business. I'm working on a class right now where we're going to use QR codes to take people to podcasts that they're creating, and they can do really granular and hyper focused podcasts on a neighborhood, if you will, if they're an agent, or a school district. I mean, there's a million things that they could talk about, but this QR code, you're able to change it. So I could keep this card. I've printed 500 cards, but I go and change the back end of the QR code, and if you scanned it tomorrow, it would take you somewhere completely different. So that's one of the reasons I love this QR code. Also, because it allows me to create multiple ways that you could engage with me. So let's say you don't have TikTok. You could say, well, I'm not going to follow her on TikTok, and I'm never on Facebook, so I guess I'll go follow her on Instagram. Let me go check out her YouTube channel. Let me go listen to the podcast that she was on. There's all sorts of ways that you could leverage this landing page to your benefit. So, Susan, I'm at 11:20. I'm going to stop there because I feel like I've probably rambled on and on long enough. Stop presenting, and I'm going to leave you guys with this. Let me make sure my camera comes back on. I started the conversation by saying I started 7 years ago and I really had no brand. I had no visibility. I had no credibility, and people couldn't do business with me because they didn't even know I existed. People care about numbers and statistics, right? So we're able to track market share in different offices that I'm in. And I have at least 30%, if not more, market share in the offices where I'm extremely present. And that is not just because of my silly business card. It's not because of my Instagram videos. It's also because I show up every day. I follow up. I have systems. I have scripts. I have processes. But I think if you are looking to increase the number of open orders that you're getting every month and you're kind of beating your head against the wall, I feel confident that I could help you, and I'd be happy to have a conversation with you. If you're looking to get in front of new people that have been sending business other places and you're like, I know we could do a great job, I just have to figure out how to get them to give us one shot, I feel confident I can help you. So my goal is to really help the women on this call who say, I want more out of my business. I want to grow and stretch myself and see what comes of it. Please feel free to reach out to me. You can find me on Instagram at Texas Title Girl. You can email me, texastitlegirl@gmail.com. My real name is Sarah, but wherever you find me, I'll be happy to meet you there and reach out to you and get in touch with you.
Awesome. Wow. That's the perfect way to start the power hour. Awesome. That was fabulous. Thank you. Lots of great notes. I even put down some notes. So thank you. Does anyone have questions that they want to ask Sarah? We have a couple minutes for Q&A before she has to jump off. Anyone have a comment or feedback?
No questions, but that was a really great presentation. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Thank you.
Yes.
Andrea.
Very
Yes, Sarah,
empowering.
thank you.
Yes. Are you coming to the Alta One by chance?
Me?
Yeah, Sarah.
As of right now, I do not have plans to, but that could change.
I think you need to come.
Yeah,
A lot of us will
great
be there.
presentation.
Yes.
Great presentation.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I'm hoping this got recorded so I could share it with some of my people in my office.
Yes, it's being recorded. Yes.
Perfect. Love it.
Thank you, Marianne.
Hey, I got a quick question before she leaves out, before she escapes us. Sarah, hi, I'm Penny.
Hi, Penny.
I live in Tennessee, but my company is in Colorado, and so I spend a lot of time all over Terminal C, DIA is where you'll find me most days. But I have been following you for quite some time, so as a good title girl, I am a good old-fashioned stalker. You have so many platforms that you participate in. Have you found that you've got more success out of one or the other?
Yeah.
And if
Absolutely.
the people here are looking just like, okay, if I can only focus on one or two, one or two would you suggest?
Yeah. Okay. So let me answer that twofold. If I'm wanting to grow a title coaching business or encourage people like you all and connect with people like you all, Instagram is of course great, but YouTube is great because because of the search capabilities and the reach. Instagram has been wonderful for me as a title rep to connect with agents because that's where my agents are and that's where my agents are hanging out. And so I would say it's a little bit about knowing your market and your ideal audience and your ideal client and where they're hanging out. But I think you cannot go wrong with Instagram, especially if your agents are there.
Got it. Thanks.
Uh-huh.
Perfect. Great questions. Any others? All right. Well, we have Sarah's information I can share with everyone afterward. But thank you so much for starting our episode 1 with this power packed. I mean, you got us all motivated. So you got me motivated.
Great. 11:25 on the dot.
Yes, perfect. Thank you, Sarah. Good luck at your other event.
Thank you. Bye, Mike. Good to see you.
All right. So our next presenter is the famous Mike Simon. If you have not met him, he is the president of Agent Brief. Agent Brief is an integrated business intelligence platform that helps you identify, engage, and grow your relationships with your real estate agents and lenders. And it's a phenomenal product. So if you have not seen this, good thing you're here because I love this product. I share it with my agents all the time. So I will turn it over to you and a couple Q&A at the end of that. But yeah, take it away, Mike. You're on mute.
There we go. Hi, everybody.
There you go.
Sorry about that. Yeah,
first of all, Sarah's thing was great because I think we're going to dovetail and kind of leverage what she just said. You know, you guys go out there, you create these personal brands, but at the end of the day, our job in the title space, really anybody surrounding a residence or real estate transaction, is all about creating relationships. I challenge anybody to tell me differently that our number one job is to build relationships with real estate agents. And how we're going to do that and how we're going to go about that is a strategy, and there are tactics and there are tools to do that. So what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to do a very quick summary of a presentation we call FAME, which is all about finding, alerting, monitoring, and engaging with real estate agents, and then do a very quick product demo in the middle of that. So I'm going to share my screen as well. There it is. Let me just do that and share this. Okay. Susan, can you tell me, do you see the FAME presentation on the screen?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
It's their engagement that feels human is what it says.
All right.
The first one. I don't know if that's the first page.
No, it's not. This one is. That's the first page.
There we go.
So here we go. Okay, so real fast, there we go. So I believe in this, that timing is everything in our business. Timing when with referrals, getting in front of real estate agents first, knowing about them first. You know, I go into this whole argument about where data's come from, how data's been used traditionally, but let's dive into the presentation because I think it'll make more sense if I show you some cool, fun visuals. So if you don't know this guy, this is Will Ferrell as Ricky Bobby in a great movie called Talladega Nights. Movie is less important than what he said. What he says is, if you ain't first, you're last. And we believe that completely. Real estate transactions are happening all the time. Real estate data is typically a history lesson telling you what's already happened. Who did what with whom? Who's cheating on me? Is my name associated with the transaction? And I would offer up, who cares? What you really want to know right now is what's happening. And if you find out what's happening, if you're first to that, if you're first to the party, then you have a competitive advantage in leveraging yourself, your brand, all the other things that you're doing out there. But it doesn't matter unless you know what real estate agents are doing, knowing about it fast, knowing about it first, and taking action on it, which is why I default to, if you ain't first, you are last in our business. So this image is really just meant to kind of define that really historical data does nothing for you as it relates to identifying future opportunities. Why? Well, if you missed an opportunity and somebody else did that transaction, well, you already missed it. So you ain't gonna get it, you ain't gonna win it. If you won a transaction already and you completed it, well, you already won it, so you're not gonna win it again. And if your name is associated with the transaction because you need to see it in some data source to validate that data is good, well, I would also offer to you that it also doesn't matter because all of this is stuff that has already happened. Now we have to focus on what's happening right now. So again, getting in front of agents and getting in front of agents first. So what does FAME mean? It really means that you, no matter what tool you're using, Agent Brief or anything else, that you want to find the agents that matter to you, okay? You want to analyze their activity. You want to message them the minute you know something, and then you want to engage with them in a consistent, relevant manner, okay? But again, the first thing is which agents matter, okay? And you need a tool that's going to help you monitor agent activities. The hardest thing to do is to remember that our business is relationship driven and that relationships are driven through consistent engagement. They are not moments in time, right? They're moments over time. And I will repeat that several times in this conversation. Why reps miss the moment? You miss the moment because prospecting stinks. Nobody enjoys it, okay? It is very, very hard to say, these are all the agents in my market. How am I going to monitor the MLS or other data sources to know when these agents have activities? It is a full-time job. But if you're not doing that, you're missing out on timing. So what you really need from any tool that you're going to use is a way to have a repeatable rhythm about knowing when agents have transactional events, and leveraging those transactional events into conversations. So, which agents matter? Well, there's really two types. Agents that you already know and you want to retain, agents that you'd like to know and you want to win. But the prospecting formula that you really need to go and execute on is all about which agents have volume. Stop wasting time on agents that are non-producing. And I hear it all the time. Well, Mike, I want to know every agent because just in case an agent has a transaction. Great. Just in case, well, just in case is one opportunity. You want agents that are producing. You want to make your life easier. Stop investing in these agents who are dormant in the off chance that they may have something. Let's focus on agents who are really producing. So volume matters. Volume of listings matters even more because those are new opportunities. And then finally, vendor diversity. It is not a black mark to look at a real estate agent and say, wow, this real estate agent does business with 20 different title companies. That actually means that that agent is open, willing to have conversations, is more willing than somebody who just does business with one title company to work with somebody new. So if you have volume and listings and vendor diversity, then your outreach is high value, high intent, and that's what you're looking for. Focus on quality. Everything else is really going to be a time suck. I'm going to pass over this. Analyzing agent activity. Okay, this is what kills all title reps, which is how am I going to stay on top of all of this agent activity? You need a tool, okay, that tells you when new listings are happening, when status changes are happening. You need a tool that's going to tell you, is there a pending? You need something that's going to tell you when there's a closing. You need things that tell you when there's an open house. These events matter for the sole reason is that agents are putting that information into the MLS, pressing enter, and they are not doing so to be anonymous. They're doing it because they want you to know about it. They are calling attention to themselves. Somebody, I think Penny mentioned it earlier, that we are, unfortunately, professional stalkers. That's our job. So how do you do that in a way that's meaningful and automated? And that's something that we're going to show you when it comes to Agent Brief. But when you talk about this high intensity, high value outreach, okay, and that you're looking for moments in time to reach out to real estate agents, this means that every time you reach out to an agent, there's a purpose behind it. It is one thing to pick up an agent and say, hey, it's me, Mike, with XYZ Title Company. Here's why we're great. Here's why you should use us. Here's our products. Here's our services. That is a cold call because agents don't have an activity. So when you're reaching out to an agent saying, hey, I see you have a new listing at 123 Main Street. Here's how I can help you. That is very different. That is a purposeful, meaningful, high intent outreach versus simply cold calling saying, pay attention to me. No, you're paying attention to the real estate agent. You need to be there when they need you. Messaging, okay? Messaging is about events. Hey, I know you have a new listing is very different than, hey, I'm just here to sell you title. So what we want you to do is pay attention to these actionable moments, these moments in time that real estate agents are looking for you to pay attention to them. And also remember that when you reach out to them at the right moment in time, you're sending a very different message. You're sending a message that says, I'm paying attention to you in a meaningful way. I'm waiting for you to have something that you need me for. Now I'm reaching out to you at the moment in time that you need me. And what you're doing is you are increasing your value. You're increasing your mind share. You're coming to the agent and meeting them. Sarah said the same thing. You're meeting them where they are. Okay. So meeting an agent where they are not only means the right moment in time, but also the right mechanism, email, text, voice call. You don't know what's going to work with every agent, but you do know that intentional outreach, engaging with a purpose, increasing your mind share, increases your equity with a real estate agent. That real estate agent grows to expect that you're going to be on top of their business. Don't let them down. So real, timely, personalized touches, That's what you're looking for when it comes to engagement. So to wrap this piece up, and I want to jump right into the app, building relationships is not a moment in time. It is moments over time. Everybody gets drunk with new technology, saying, ooh, if I have this, I'll get more title orders. I'm telling you straight out, okay, that Agent Brief will deliver 0 title orders. What we will do is we will deliver the moments in time, the times that it will take for you to develop that relationship, giving you more opportunity to start relationships, build trust. And when you have those two things, that's ultimately what's going to equal referrals. So it's moments over time, consistent behavior from you at the right moments in time, with value, with purpose, with meaning, that is going to endear you to more real estate agents. And those are the key elements to using your personal brand, to using technology, to using data, all to your advantage. But it's a combination of these things that helps you really work with real estate agents in a far more effective way. So I'm going to pause there, and I'm going to switch screens for a sec because I do want to show you the mobile app. Me? Susan or somebody, can you let me know if you see my phone?
All I can see is black, so maybe you have to scroll a little.
Yeah, just I'm sharing the wrong screen. That's okay. That's all right. Let's get rid of this. That. Share our screen again. Yeah.
It's not sharing.
Yeah, not yet.
Okay, there it is.
Oh, Microsoft. There we go. Okay. Can you see my phone now, Susan?
Yes.
All right, great. So everybody, Agent Brief, you're in the mobile app. We do offer a desktop version, but let's talk about quickly all the different things that I mentioned. Find agents, follow agents, monitor agent activity, receive real-time alerts about activity, and then finally engagement. So find, follow, monitor, alert, engage. How do we do it? So basically, the way Agent Brief works, for starters, is, remember we said, let's find agents that matter. So I'm just going to pick Miami for now. We're just going to go to Miami-Dade, Florida. And basically what you see here is a summary of every real estate agent in Miami-Dade County, okay, in descending order based on production. Forget about all the other data that you've seen before that's in spreadsheets that confuses you, that's got multiple line items. Right now, which agents matter to me? And I would venture to say that the agents that matter to you, as I said, come in 2 categories. Agents that I know and currently work with, because I want to do a better job of retaining them, or agents that I'd like to know, prospects, because I want to acquire them. All I need to know for starters is what is the production of the agents in my market and which ones do I want to pay attention to. So with Agent Brief, let's just pick on Nancy Batchelor here. She's at Compass. She's got 98 and 20 and almost 300 million in production. If I know her, I want to pay attention to her because I want to better retain her. If I don't know her, I want to pay attention to her because I want to acquire her. To acquire or to retain, it requires you to take the next step, which is I'm going to follow agents. And hopefully all these red alerts now have gone off in your head saying follow. Sounds like social media, Mike. Well, kind of, sort of, because that's how we modeled the user interface of Agent Brief. So when I come across an agent that I want to pay attention to, I simply click follow. Agent Brief asks me, what is my relationship? Somebody I know or somebody I'd like to know. I click follow, and now, yes, I am following the agent. Rest assured, guys, nothing is happening with the agent at the moment. The agent does not get a message that says, hey, Mike Simon at Agent Brief wants to follow you. Do you accept? Doesn't happen. It's all completely anonymous, And the reason is because of where we get our data. Unlike any other data provider that you may have used in the past, 100% of our agent and activity data comes from the local MLS in your market. The agent has already put their information in there. It's already in the public domain. So we do not need to tell the agent that we are monitoring their behavior because of where we get the data, again, directly from the source. We are licensed by the MLS to use their data. Okay. The other thing this allows for is going back to what I said about prospecting, how much time that takes you. So think about this. You go into Agent Brief, you follow 100 agents. You do not have the time every day to monitor these agents once a day, let alone what we do, which is we monitor the MLS every 15 minutes. This is all automated for you. There is nothing you need to do. You follow the agent, it's anonymous, Agent Brief takes over, and every 15 minutes we are pinging the MLS and saying, okay, based upon this user's list of agents that they're following, did any of these agents have a new listing? Did they have a closing? Did they have any sort of status change? Did they have an open house? All of those events, as I mentioned, are things that agents put into the MLS, press enter, and they're doing so because they want you to know about it. So that's what we are monitoring for. So now we have found agents, we have followed agents, and now you let Agent Brief take over and monitor those agents automatically 24/7, 365. Every 15 minutes we're doing that. Our nearest competitor is every 2 days updating their data. In most cases, it's a week to 10 days out before they update our data. So if you're following agents on Agent Brief and we're monitoring them for you every 15 minutes, rest assured, when we take the next step, which is sending you an alert, that alert matters. That alert comes to you in the form of an SMS. It's not a text. It's not an email. It's like CNN breaking news on your phone. It pops up and it'll say, hey, Susan, looks like Nancy Batchelor, that new prospect you're following, has a new listing at 123 Main Street. Do you want to engage with her? And of course, you're going to remember this conversation and remember Ricky Bobby saying, if you ain't first, you're last. You're going to now say, I have got to take action. How do we do that? Once you see one of those alerts, click on it. It will dump you into this third tab down here. These are all your activity alerts. Okay. These activity alerts, you can sort. You don't want to see everything. Let's just say you don't want to see closings or updates. You just want to see the new stuff. Deselect them. And now you're just seeing new listings and open houses in real time as they are scheduled. You see, this is 10/1. This is all happening today. So these are agents that I'm following around the country, and I'm getting alerts about their activities essentially in real time as they are happening or as the data is updated. What do I do next? Meaningful engagement is the last piece. So this is where you have to come back in because you found, you followed, we monitored, we alerted. Now it's back on you. Okay, so now you get these alerts. Now the question is, how do I engage meaningfully? Well, it's already meaningful because I know that Dayton Schrader has a new listing at 6523 Lowry in San Antonio. I need to reach out to him. There are two ways to do this with Agent Brief. First, anytime you click on an agent's name, it takes you to all of this wonderful historical information that I made fun of earlier. This is everything you ever wanted to know about that agent. And during a full demo, I can explain all of this to you, but in deference to time, I just want to point out that when you see this right here, the email and the phone number highlighted in blue, that is your assurance that this contact information works. We've confirmed it. We know that that's a phone number, Dayton will answer. We know that's an email that Dayton has answered. So we know that if we're going to use it, it's going to get the message to them. The next thing about this is functionality. How is it used? Well, you may be thinking, this is great. I got an alert. I just cut and paste this into my phone, to my email. I can communicate. No need. Simplicity matters here. Time matters. All you have to do is click on an email and a phone number, and Agent Brief is going to send that information to whatever platforms you use. There's no new tech here. So I know there's a lot of fear in our industry about learning new tech, using multiple email providers or text features. This is all using whatever you use today. Outlook, Gmail, AOL, Yahoo. If you're old enough and you use Earthlink, yeah, it works with that too. All of this defaults to your native applications. And now what this means is it's easy for you to learn how to use, but most importantly, this is a personal message that is going to get through spam filters to the intended recipient because it's a message from you, not from us, not from a robot, not from a CRM, personal messages directly to the agent. From here is the challenge. If you follow a couple of hundred agents on Agent Brief, I guarantee you're going to get dozens of alerts from us every day. And the thought that you're going to have the time to respond to all of these with a custom, creative, authentic message that you write yourself is probably a bit far-fetched. And we had to recognize that we had to give you a little bit better of a tool, but not templates and form letters and ways to just cut and paste text and use it over and over again, because to an agent who receives this, that's spam. You don't want to do that. You don't want agents getting the same message from you every time they have an event with no customization, with no personalization, with no effort to develop a relationship. Because remember, we're in the relationship business. So what is the tool? What's the solution? What came next? It wasn't something that we created. We got a little bit lucky. And our luck was in the fact that when we were building Agent Brief, this very cool thing called AI and ChatGPT hit the scene. And that was really our answer. So instead of clicking on the name here, you click right here on the Get AI script. In a matter of seconds, Agent Brief writes custom messages for you every time. There is no input required from you as the user. We know who the recipient is. We know where they're based. We know their contact information. We know they're a new prospect. We know the event and activity that happened. So we're generating these custom messages for you on the fly. If you like a message, you can use it. If you want to change the message, you can try one of our tones. If you want to refresh it and see what else we can come up with, you can click the refresh button as many times as you want, and you'll get these brand new messages. From here, because I want to be definitely mindful of my last 2 minutes before we open it up to questions, to get these messages out, it's really simple. Right down here where it says send via email or text, does not send anything. It merely opens up your email again. This time, the content has been dumped in there for you. You want to edit this? No worries. Just click on the body of the email. You can add and delete any text you want. You want to attach a prelim, a net sheet, some marketing. You do that right here. And this little arrow is what sends it. So to wrap this all up, talking about fame, talking about engagement, talking about real-time alerts, talking about monitoring, here's the payoff. You use Agent Brief with the most up-to-date data available in the industry. You let Agent Brief help you once you follow that agent to monitor the MLS for you 24/7. You are now waiting for us to alert you that an activity happens. And from the moment you get an activity alert and open it from us to the moment you send out a message, your entire investment in time, maybe 15 seconds. So it's fast, it's efficient, it's complete, but it's engaging, and it's engaging in a way that's not using technology just to make your life easy, but it's using technology to be purposeful, to be meaningful, to get in front of the agents when they want to speak to you, and doing so in a way that helps you develop more relationships that will lead to trust. And it's those relationships that are trust-based that lead ultimately to more referrals. I'm going to breathe.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you. I love this presentation because it is so easy to use. It's easy to show people, and it's immediate results. And so it's really usable for all of your agents or for all of your title reps. So anyways, we're going to open it up to questions. Anybody have questions on the product or on anything that he presented? Or comments? are open to comments as well. We got done early. We like really powered through that hour. I love it.
I just kept watching I have a countdown clock over here that says stop with 10 minutes left to go. So
Mike, I have a couple questions.
Sure.
That was a really cool product. I've never seen that before. And so I'm curious for you, for this tool, are you guys integrated into any TPS systems, or are you working directly with any underwriters? Like what's where are you at on those
two different questions. So first, we do not get our closed production data from the TPS. We get it from the county after the deed is recorded. So when you're looking at closed production, which title company was used, which lender was used, which loan officer was used, that's all coming post-close recorded deeds.
Okay.
Our forward-looking data, which is all of the agent data, their transactions, their new transactions, the new things they put into the MLS, that's a direct feed from the MLS.
Okay, gotcha. And then is your tool integrated into any softwares, or is it just like a standalone product that title agents could use?
Great question. So we just did our first CRM integration.
Okay.
It was announced maybe 2 weeks ago. We did not want to build a CRM, April. It was really not our thing because it's really the antithesis of what we believe in. But what we found were the CRMs were calling us saying, hey, if we could get agent brief data in our CRM, it would make our users' lives easier. So we built an API. We launched our first CRM integration with Razi, which then, of course, as you would imagine, opened the floodgates. And now going into Alta next week, I think I'm meeting with 943 different CRM providers who all want to do an integration.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hugely invaluable tool to be able to capture that attention, that audience, as soon as the property is listed. So very cool.
It's a game changer when you can get it right away versus having to wait.
Is that Razi? Is that Razi Hot Leads? Is that what
So
it is?
Razi has Razi Hot Leads, and Razi also has a CRM product.
Okay.
So and where it's all kind of, once you have the CRM product and Hot Leads and Agent Brief, you're really playing with fire there.
Yeah, I know. I've had few conversations with some underwriters that really push those types of products for their title agents to help expand market share. So I think that's great. And I saw you're going to be at Alta One, so I'm going to come find you and say hello.
Please do. The other thing about the CRMs and what people kind of focus on is, again, CRMs are a great management tool, but does anybody really love CRMs? What's the saying? What's the best CRM on the market? And the answer is the one that people use, which is why we didn't build the CRM. We'll leave that task to somebody else. The beauty of this, having all this data in one place, and yes, when the integration with the CRMs happen, it makes sure that data, the communications, all your moments in time, they're all kind of feeding into a single repository. But the agent brief data is really, that's the leading edge of all this. Without it, you're still looking backwards. You're not looking forwards. And that's, again, just one of the reasons we didn't build the CRM. We wanted to build everything that was kind of before that and feed into it in the back.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mike, this is Carrie McGuire, and I'm so impressed with this tool. I can't believe I was not aware of it, but I'm online and I'm going to sign up, and I'm in the 7-day trial period. I'm just curious because I don't see anywhere. What's the price range of this?
So retail, if you came to me out of the blue, is $199 per month per user. But we have an affiliate relationship, Stuart, with her, Susan's group, and essentially it's $99 for everything we offer. So it's all the agent data on a national basis. It is loan officer data in the state that you exist in. There is no upgrades. There's no upsells. There's no onboarding costs. There's no setup costs. It's $99. We charge it to your credit card every month, and really you can be up and operating on the platform within about 2 hours.
And so that's $99. So if there are two of us that are out sourcing business, producing, bringing in, we would basically $200 a month.
Yeah. And
I think that's amazing
thank
for
you.
signing up today.
Okay. Well,
Well, and Mike, we need to put that link or somehow that offering on the website so we can talk about that offline so people have access to that
Sure.
if they get it through her, and we'll figure that out. But yeah, it's a great product, and the cost is on point. It's it's really gonna be a game changer for you if you grab
Yeah,
onto it, I
that's
believe.
I was scared he was gonna say 1,000 per user a month. And that would be a
Right.
little hard to digest.
I'll
with a
take it.
Fairly
That's-
new.
that's
We're
what you
fairly
want to say.
new, so we need your tool, but I like your price.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I think, Susan, if Carrie's name is on the list, the summary you gave us, Carrie, I'll just reach out to you. Or Carrie, if you just want to send me a quick email right now, mike@agentbrief.com, I'll make sure we follow up right after the call.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you. Any other comments or feedback from anybody? All right. Well, I think this was a hugely successful first episode for our HER.Ignite series. Thank you all for attending. Please share the next one. They'll be coming out every month on the second Wednesday of the month. So I will make sure to have the one for November. It will be coming out tomorrow. It'll be featuring two of our favorite Her people, which are Amy Gregory and Andrea Summers. So if you don't know them, you want to get on. But yeah, share it with your colleagues and your friends. We're excited. We want to make this a power hour. We don't want it to be webinars that take up so much time in your day because we know how valuable and limited all of our time is. So thank you, everyone. And thank you so much, Mike and Sarah. We will have information that I can pass along, and I did get the recording. So please just reach out to me if you need anything on that. And we'll see you for the next Her episode 2. Thanks so much, everyone.
Look
Thank
at
you,
you.
Susan.
You're on
That's great.
time, Susan. Look at this.
Look at
59
us. We
minutes,
did
28
awesome.
seconds. Bam.
Yeah.
Bam! We did it in an hour. Thanks so much, Mike. We'll see
Thanks,
y'all
guys.
later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you.